The 2013 presidential debate, also known as your chapel. But all right, we're going to have 5 candidates. They're going to be coming up. Go ahead and give them a round of applause. They're going to come up to the stage. All right, we're going to get started. First up, I'm going to introduce all 5 candidates. First one, Christopher, age 18 years old, born and raised in Wichita, Kansas. Please welcome Christopher Shellman. Next up, born and raised in the heart of the United States in Wichita, Kansas. Your homecoming queen. Please give a big hand to Marin Wemmer. Next, also born and raised in Wichita, Kansas. Her last name gives her a good chance at winning this debate. Trying to become the first ever woman president. Please welcome Natalie Rotola. Next up, coming all the way from Skopje, Macedonia. He is trying to bypass the constitutional qualifications for becoming a president. Please welcome Damian Jovic. And lastly, also attempting to become the first ever woman president of the United States from Garden City, Kansas. Please give it up for Adalia Cabrera. First question's for Christopher. Christopher, one of the first things you plan to do when you step into office is to lower taxes on small businesses. Why do you feel so strongly about this, and what effect will this have on our country?
I believe that we as Americans are in a major dilemma. Right now we're experiencing one of the worst combinations when it comes to any nation's economy. We have a national debt of $17 trillion, 233 billion, $675,500,000, which is now inaccurate because of the amount of time it took me to say it. On the other hand, we have a shattered economy still recovering from a recession. There are a few solutions to this problem, but I assure you, raising taxes on 66% of employers is not our solution. The average small business pays 39.6% in federal income taxes alone. How can any business survive if they're paying half of their income just in taxes? If my plan is put into place, not only will I strictly define the term small business so that large corporations and companies can't get in on benefits that they don't need, but I will free up small business income so that they can afford to hire the amount of help that they actually need. I see no better solution than to lower taxes and free up income so that small businesses can afford to expand and my notes are all messed up today. It's a simple principle. Lowering taxes on small businesses allows them to expand, increase spending, and hire new workers. These new workers will be able to spend money at other businesses, and it's an endless cycle. We just need to get it going in the right direction. I think we should charge a lot of Americans few, and not a few Americans a lot.
Thank you, Christopher. Marin, you have been quoted as saying that you believe abortion is murder and that you wish to make abortion wrong in every scenario. Why do you feel so strongly about this?
Thank you. First of all, I want to start off by thanking everyone here and all my amazing supporters. Why do I feel abortion is so wrong? Well, it's simple. Abortion is murdering an innocent life. Just because we cannot physically touch him does not mean that it is not human. In every race, in every country, in every religion, murder is wrong. So why is abortion justifiable? Immediately, I will make abortion wrong. In every case, in every form, it will be illegal. If a woman decides to give her baby up for adoption, I want her to feel completely confident in her decision. In doing that, I will make sure that all adoption agencies will be completely improved, making sure that every child goes to a person who truly deserves it. Every woman should be accountable for her decision, and every woman can learn to be a good mother.
Yes. Amen.
Our future children are the future world changers. Do we want to discard our world changer? Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. And for all you guys, make sure you speak into the mic a little bit so we can hear you, okay?
I have a question
Yes, Damien.
for Marie.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're saying in all cases you're forbidding abortion, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So what if a woman is raped? And what if the life of the woman that is carrying the child depends on the child? Like she's near death, so abortion is the only way out of death. What is the...
I understand if a woman is raped, that's a very hard decision. I understand that. But does that give you the right to murder a child? And to blame the child for her getting raped? Does that mean that the child should suffer and to be physically taken out of you and cut out of you or burnt? Do you think that's right? It's not. That's why there's adoption. I understand it's embarrassing maybe to be pregnant in that kind of case, but that does not give you the right to murder. Thank you.
Okay. Natalie, next question. Your first order of business, if you take office, is to fix the education system in our country. What is your plan to help put us back on a good track?
I would first off like to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to be up here. We all want our children to succeed in school, right? And get the best education that they can. Well, it is a known fact that our public school system is a failure. Statistics show that the U.S. is ranked 26th in math, trailing behind countries such as Slovakia, Portugal, and Russia. We dropped from 17th to 21st in science and 14th to 17th in reading. We keep pumping more and more money into this failing school system, which, in result, we are falling more behind countries every single day. So obviously money is not the answer. As of right now, if I am wanting to enroll my child into a school, I have two options. I can either put them into that district school or into a private school. The problem with this is that we are forced to pay with our tax dollars for that district school. So if I want my child to have a better education and to be put into a private school, I now am paying for both. My plan is to allow us to take our money from our tax dollars and put it towards the school of their choice. With this school competition, our failing school system will better itself as a whole. People would stop sending their children to a district school because they can't afford private schooling. Instead, they would put their money towards the best school that they can afford. This brings on more competition within the school system, which will force them to better their school in order to maintain their level of success. Lastly, whenever you take competition out of any business, such as a public school, the result will always be a lower quality product or service. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. Damien, the next question is for you. One of the main things that you want to make sure happens if you become president is to make sure that America has and maintains the strongest military in the world. Why do you feel so strongly about this?
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Rotola for picking me as in the top 5 candidates for the president. And also I want to thank all of my people supporting me from the same party as me. So it is no wonder USA has one of the strongest reputations in the whole world. One of the reasons for this is their military and their national defense. Devoting more and more of the government's budget makes our military more stronger and more equipped. It also adds to the safety of the citizens and their self-confidence. Nobody knows what might happen, so keeping the military ready at all times is it's very it's very good for maintaining the peace and most of all the reputation of the country. Not to be mistaken, I have no plans of abusing this and selfishly lose all the allies America has made throughout the years. Also, I have no plans in involving the country in things that don't necessarily need our help. I only want to keep the military on the level as it is, but slightly improve it. I also want to add to my statement that I will slightly increase the spending on special forces. Special forces are one of the most important pieces of the army and of the military. So equipping them with the most advanced technology and arms that will help them do the job even more precise and accurate, which will help fight terrorism even more and more bravely and good. I don't like people to get me wrong, but spending more, but increasing the budget for the military, it's required for the safety and for the maintenance of this country.
Dahlia,
Yes.
you have been saying all along that the government is spending way too much money, and if it does not stop, it could end up crippling our economy. Why do you feel this way, and what do you suggest that we do about it?
Well, first I'd like to start by cut spending by giving and supporting America by what she needs and by what will benefit her, and stop spending money on things we don't need. Also, I'd like to start by increasing more small businesses. More small businesses means more jobs. And the more people with jobs there are, and then I'd also like to start by lowering taxes as well. The more people there are with jobs, then there are more small businesses. And the less taxes there are, the more people that are more happy whenever they get their paycheck. And then the more they have for themselves. And people will stop relying on the government more and more. I'm still working on that, but if you give it throughout the years, I will find a solution. Thank you.
Thank you. Christopher, back to you. You said in a recent speech, you were quoted as saying, "I'm tired of corruption in the government." What is this corruption that you're talking about, and what do you intend to do to stop it?
Well, as many Americans would agree, corruption in the government is a very real issue, regardless of how big or how small. And it's one that I have no intention of disregarding. America has lost trust in her representatives. If my plans are put into place, anyone who is paid with tax dollars who attempts to withhold valuable information from the American people that is not directly related to personal or national security will be punished to the full extent of the law. Representatives will be paid a flat salary and will be prohibited from accepting income from any other source. This will eliminate our representatives and congressmen and senators from voting for personal gain. I don't believe that corruption can be completely eliminated, but I'll do everything I can to restore America's trust in her representatives.
Thank you, Chris. Marin, you have kind of a unique plan for how we can fix entitlements in this country when it comes to paying taxes. Tell us about that.
I do, Tim. First of all, a lot of people feel that they are entitled to benefits that they simply did not work for, leaving it unfair to the ones who did, who worked hard for what they have. I immediately, when I become president, will form a department that only focus is weeding out the people who need our help from the people who are just lazy. I understand that this will be a great challenge, but if we work together like we're supposed to and be a team like the government is supposed to be, then we will succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Natalie, you feel very strongly that a universal healthcare system such as Obamacare infringes on some of the most fundamental freedoms that we have in our country. Tell us why you feel that way.
Well, healthcare is important to every American, but forcing a certain type of healthcare on every American is not American at all. By this healthcare Obama is forcing upon us, we are all put in a very tough situation. For one, employers now have to pay for their employees' insurance. They're not able to proceed with this, so now they are forced to either cut their employees' hours below 40 or fire their workers. The most important thing that America was founded upon was the right of choice. If it is against your beliefs, or if you simply do not agree with whatever the issue may be, you had a choice. What Obama is doing with this plan is forcing us to go back on their beliefs and do as he says. That choice is now taken from us. This infringes on my rights. Now I am being forced to pay extra for those who are uninsured, and I can't afford it, as many of you can't as well. Now, one thing you may not know about Obamacare is that it got voted in due to several misrepresentations. For one, we were promised that if we like our insurance policy, we can keep it. If we like our doctor, we can keep them. And that Obamacare would not fund abortion. These were all lies. Think about it this way. If an advertiser lies about his product to sell, he is false advertising, which is illegal. Obamacare got voted in due to several lies. Thank you.
Damien, you believe very strongly that abortion should continue to be legal. Why do you feel this way?
Well, first of all, we all know that according to the Bible, abortion should be illegal. But we all know that God gives everybody a choice. So why not should a woman have a choice about her child? So what I'm doing is making abortion legal in every circumstances. So this will drastically prevent illegal abortions. Abortions doesn't. A woman should. If a woman wants an abortion, she would just. If a woman wants an abortion, she would just simply seek illegal abortion. Illegal abortion results in women dying either during abortion or as a result of incomplete abortion or infection. Also, if the abortion isn't carried out correctly, the child could survive but be left with serious birth defects. So what I'm trying to do is get a new system and new specialized hospitals which will be equipped with the most advanced technology, which will help with the procedure of the abortion. When a woman wants to do abortion, she will first get a walkthrough of the procedure and the steps of the surgery. So she could know clearly know what she's getting into. This will also, according to my calculations, change the the minds of 30% of the women, because they will see how painful and what happens during the procedure. These special hospitals will be equipped with the most, apart from the most advanced technology, the best doctors in the world will be part of it. So there will be no need for worry.
I have a question for my opponent. You say that everyone has a choice for their life, but then you say that the woman should choose the life of her baby. That's contradicting itself. If everybody has a choice for their life, then why can't the baby choose whether he or she wants to live or die? And like I said, no baby would choose to die. That is not giving that life a choice. So what you are saying is that that baby's life is important, and that the mom has full control of that baby, but that baby is still alive. And so therefore, that baby should have the choice for their life.
Okay.
Damien, do you have a response for that?
Yes, of course.
Go ahead, Damien.
Well, so let's put this scenario in. A woman, this is not a rape, this is nothing like that. She gets unwanted pregnancy. And so she decides to not get an abortion, and she gives birth to the baby. So she doesn't have the money, and she doesn't want to take care of the baby. She gives it to adoption, to an orphanage. So big percentage of the children in the orphanage are not adopted, and they don't have like a life. They end up homeless, or they end up getting drugs and getting very addicted to drugs and dying early in their life. Also, most of them become criminals, and most of them become psychopaths. So I think also, if a woman wants an abortion, she would try to get in a legal way. So I don't know. I think this will greatly improve the.
So what you're saying is that just because that baby was unwanted by that mom, and so she gives the baby up to adoption, and she's put into a home, that life is useless, and now since they have no family and they are in a home or whatever, that they don't have any way to succeed in life. Is that what you're saying? That doesn't make them any less of a person. Hold on. Just because they are less fortunate than us, that does not make them any less of a person. They can still accomplish great things. I would like to say a story real quick on that topic. It's a question for you all. If you knew a woman who was pregnant, she had 8 kids already. 3 were deaf, 2 blind, and 1 mentally retarded. And the mom had syphilis, which is a sexually transmitted disease, which is guaranteed that every child that comes out of her will have treatment for the rest of her life. Would you recommend that she have an abortion? Because yes, the chances are high that this new baby is going to have another disease or something wrong with them, or a complication, or could be on treatment for the rest of their life. And why bring that child in the world? Why let them suffer in that way? That baby was Beethoven, which is one of the most talented musicians of this world that we know. So just because the chances were high that that baby was going to suffer and have all these complications, and many of you think that just because they're going to have, like, why not help this baby and not bring them into this world? Just have them not suffer. Just because of all that does not mean that they can't exceed and have great success in this world.
Damien, real quick, you can get the last word.
Yeah. So if you heard what I'm trying to do, I'm getting specialized hospitals. So either way, a woman will, if she wants an abortion, she would try to get in a legal way. So if I get it legal and get it with the right equipment and with advanced technology and with the right doctors, and she will also get a walkthrough of what's happening that might change her mind. Big percentage of the women might change their minds when they see the procedure and what happens. And I think this will help it all. I mean, that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right, we're gonna stay on the topic of abortion for one more question. Adalia, your hope is to eliminate abortion in all cases except where the mother's life is in danger. Tell us why you feel so strongly about this.
Thank you. Okay. Could you please bring the slide up for me? I believe that abortion is wrong. Unborn babies are human beings from the moment of conception. They have a right to live, just like all of you and I do. The process of abortion, as the slide you see behind me, is devastating. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, and they just think, oh, let's just remove the baby, just don't want to deal with it, or don't want this to be in my life, but they don't see what's really behind it. Every single day, more than 3,000 American babies are killed by abortion. There have been 53 million abortions in the last 40 years. As you see behind me, how you feeling over here, Damien? It's devastating. Well, let me read it. Here? Okay. The first slide. The first one, on the top left. The baby parts are grasped at random with a long-toothed clamp. Second one on the top right. The baby parts are pulled from the fetal body out the vaginal canal. The remaining body parts are scraped out and pulled out, and the head is grasped and crushed in order to remove it from the mother's womb. Now, I don't feel this is right. I don't believe that any man has a choice. I don't believe that any man has a choice to end someone else's life. It isn't right. I believe that only God has that choice. And I agree with what Natalie was saying, That baby could have been president. That baby could have, no one killed you. No one aborted you. You're here. Everyone is here for a purpose. And I believe everyone has a purpose in life. Thank you.
Thank you. Christopher, this is all the candidates have one more question and then they'll give their closing arguments. Christopher, Obamacare went into effect this past October, and since its launch, there has been somewhat of a disastrous effect. What is going on with Obamacare, and will it start working?
In my opinion, Obama won't start working, at least not by my definition. For one, it's unconstitutional. It lowers the quality of...
Speak into it a little bit more.
It lowers the quality of healthcare everywhere. If you get injured or sick, you could end up on a waiting list for days or even months. What about the people who don't want or can't afford this affordable healthcare? What about the people who don't need it? It will, for most people, for most Americans who already have insurance, it will not only increase their premiums, but their taxes will go up as well. And then it's been confirmed that Obamacare also has death panels. This means that there are government officials who are appointed and given the godlike power to decide whether your life is worth state money. This means if you or a family member has some chronic disease or some other ailment, and they decide that your life is not worth the state money that's being spent to preserve or maintain it, then you'll be euthanized or put to sleep. I say enough patchwork. Let's fix this economy, fix our growing welfare state, and get our Americans to a place where they can afford their own health care without governmental aid.
Thank you. Marin, you agree with Adalia's feelings on slowing down government spending, but you feel like we need to keep spending money on our military. If we have one of the strongest militaries in the world, why do we need to keep spending money on it?
Thank you, Tim. That's an excellent question. I do want to cut government spending. Some of what we spend our money on is completely useless. For example, the IRS started their very own parody of Star Trek and Gilligan's Island, and that cost them $60,000. Now that's just a little example of something that's completely worthless that our money went to. Need I remind you, that money really isn't ours. We're borrowing, borrowing, and borrowing throughout the years. Sometimes I think that we forget that we're in $17 trillion debt. Although, what is it that the government wants to cut spending on? Our military. And what is it that protects us? Our military. We need to always make sure that we are improving. Yes, I know that improving takes money, but if we quit, then other countries will gain dominance over us, and we will lose strength. We will weaken if we quit improving. Which is why we need to always be strengthening. Not just our military, but as a country. Thank you.
Thank you. Natalie, perhaps your strongest argument when it comes to changes that need to be made in our country is in the area of abortion. What would be your plan with abortion if you become the next president?
To continue what I've already said, I have a lot of information, so bear with me here. I believe that life begins at conception, and that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That the baby should have the choice whether he or she wants to live or die, and no baby would choose to die. Now, there are many reasons why people, mothers, get an abortion. Anywhere from their life being in danger to I didn't want a boy. It is just a fallacy saying that the mom or the baby's life is in danger. For example, if I am in a hospital about to have a baby, and the doctor comes and says to me, your baby has no chance of living, I would say back to them, there's no harm in trying, and there's always room for a miracle. Statistics show that 4 out of 10 babies are aborted in unintended pregnancies. 11% of white women's pregnancies end in abortion. 28% of Hispanic, and 50% of the African American race end in abortion, which even though they only represent 13% of the female population. Here's an interesting side note that you may not know. The founder of Planned Parenthood, an organization that we fund with our tax dollars, their founder, Margaret Sanger, was a racist whose objective was to eliminate the black race. Since 1973, abortion on demand in Black America has taken more lives than homicides, heart diseases, diabetes, cancers, and HIV/AIDS combined, and has become the #1 cause of death in the Black community. The facts are clear. The numbers don't lie. Abortion on demand is a Holocaust. With that being said, have you ever been told that you are not good enough or not talented enough to accomplish something? God has to hear millions of times that his creations aren't good enough to make it in this world, and that the best thing that he or she can do is to not even be here at all. Imagine being told that you have cancer and you have one month to life, and the people closest to you, whom you love, start treating you like you are worthless and tell you that you might as well die now because you have no use in this life anymore. What's the point? Am I right? But why should we let people choose our life for us? And why should we choose our life for a baby? Also, let's not forget about adoption. There are thousands of parents that would do everything in their power to get a baby. Meanwhile, 4,000 babies are being killed each and every day. Why not give up what to you is nothing to and give it to someone who it will be their everything. So yes, I'm against abortion in every single case. Thank you.
Question? No.
You just get one question for the round, for the whole round. Okay, but it is your turn, Damien, to speak. One of your plans that you stated in a recent speech was to create a flat tax rate in the range of 15 to 20%. What effects will that have on our economy and on the American people?
Yeah. So the government wants to get the taxes higher, raise the taxes, so they can have a bigger budget. The citizens want to lower the tax, so they don't pay a high tax. But I think both of them are wrong. I'm something in between. Right now, the bracket is 10% for up to 9,000, 15% from 9,000 to 35,000, 25% from 35,000 to 85,000, 28% from 85,000 to 178,000, 33% from 178,000 to 388,000, and 35% for 388,000 more. So this means that if you make more money, that your tax is getting very, very high, which takes out the motivation for getting promoted and getting a higher job. Because if you're in the lower bracket, you have this almost the exact same money as the next bracket.
Thank you. Adalia, do you feel like one of the main things our economy needs is to get more people back to work? How exactly do you plan to do that?
I plan to do this by making more small businesses. Small businesses help stimulate economy growth by providing employment opportunities to people who may not be employable by larger corporations. Since 1995, small businesses has generated 64% of new jobs in the U.S. and paid 44% of the total U.S. private payroll. I believe that if there were more small businesses, it would help with the money circulation. And as I said before, the more jobs there are, the more people that are needing jobs, and there will be more small businesses. The more people that are needing jobs and that are in those small businesses, people will be more happy with their paycheck and would have to stop relying on the government for so many, of their needs, such as food stamps. People rely on all of these things for the government when, if there were more small businesses, more jobs, more all of these things, people would, rely on themselves and be more happy with the way things are. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, lastly, we're going to do closing arguments. Before we get to that, they'll get to speak for one last time. Does anyone have a question for anyone else before we get to that? Anyone have a question? No? Okay. Christopher, it's time for your closing argument.
I'm going to cut to the chase. I like to tell you how it is, and I like to tell you straight. Our worsening economy, our growing welfare state, unemployment level, and our national debt are simply not going to fix themselves. And some things that are not going to work is to continue to borrow money from China or to tax small businesses so that they have to fire employees just to keep their doors open. It's completely ridiculous to tax our people just to pay for their own welfare. As long as there's a way, I believe we as Americans must try. And I promise you, there's no one better for the job than me.
Okay, Brent.
Well, America was founded on strong, brave souls. I simply want our future to protect and reflect the morals that we once had. Let me help you build a stronger America. Every one of us can be the building blocks in doing this. Together we can form and build a stronger country. Let's be proud of our country again. Elect me president and we will build it together. Thank you again to everyone here.
Natalie.
If I become president, I will do everything in my power to bring back America to what made us such a great country to begin with. We left England years ago from an oppressive government, and it is scary to think that we are headed back into one. America was at its best when we had less government and more freedom. And as Americans, we are more than capable of succeeding in business and in life. I will make sure small businesses are not penalized with taxes so they can hire more people and everyone can succeed. I will make sure to bring back competition back into every area of the American economy, giving us better quality products and services at lower prices. I will do my best to put a final end to the killing of innocent lives and bring us back to the moral standards that our forefathers believed in. Vote for me if you want the best chance to succeed. Lastly, I am personally asking for your vote for President of the United States. If you care about the future of America and are scary and are troubled by the direction it is headed towards, then vote for returning to what made it such a great country. Together, we will succeed. Thank you for your time.
Damien.
Listen, people, I've got a different vision for America. I want to build on our strengths. As a commander-in-chief, I will maintain the strongest military in the world, keep faith with our troops, and go for those who would do us harm. But after a decade of war, I think we all recognize we got some nation building here at home, rebuilding our roads, our bridges, and especially caring for the veterans who sacrificed their lives in the war. Taxes. My system for taxes is the perfect system for getting people to get a job and motivating them to get a promotion and getting hired. Also, I don't want you to get me wrong about the abortion system. I don't want to murder unborn children. The only thing I want to do is help women who will either way get an illegal abortion. I want to help them in a specialized hospitals and get them a walkthrough to the whole procedure, and get to know, so let them know what they're getting into. And also, I will fight for our families, and I will work every single day to make sure that America continues to be the greatest nation on the earth. Thank you.
Adalia.
Could you pull the slide up for me? Thank you. In conclusion, if you vote for me, I will present new employment opportunity. I will strictly put abortion on limitations as to how it will be dealt with in the future. And not just allow it due to the fact that the mother would consider killing her own child because she no longer cares for it. I will cut spending by giving and supporting America by what she needs and by what will benefit her, by not spending any more money on what we don't need as a country. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, give them all one more round of applause. They did a great job. Okay, it is 10:11. That is it. Before you guys go, bring your card with your voting on it. Bring that to me, and you can just put it up here on the stage, okay? And then go to your next hour class. Thank you.
Stay. I don't even know how to do it.
Do you want us to stand right here?
Just wait a second.
Put it on the page.